I see before me, in my future, is a black precipice. When America's torch of liberty is finally snuffed out once and for all, and we fully betray the ethos this nation was founded upon.
I signed an executive order banning men from playing in women's sports.
He's not Hitler. He's not a Nazi. He's arguably worse.
Yo, what's up, guys? We're here live right now at the Fighting Oligarchy Tour in Bakersfield, California. I don't know if y'all can see this right here, but this is an official press pass. Capital P, full court press, member of the Fourth Estate, true American journalist. I haven't got one of these bad boys since AlienCon in 2019.
People, aliens are real.
Feels pretty good. Not sure what advantage I really have, but I guess I get to film inside, which is tight. I'm normally an outside, in the field kind of fella. Shout out to
Chat, what is a Bernie Sanders rally? How do you rally when you lost? I don't get it.
County's premier pediatric services. I'm not a kid and I'm not sick, but if I was, you know where the fuck I'd be at.
I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works.
Message, because this is America and we can go listen to what we want. I live here in Kern County, so someone's coming to Kern County. It's a public event. I want to come check it out.
How do you think Trump's been doing so far?
I'm not a fan of just
He's a senator.
Around. You know, you have to be real careful with that.
You think Bernie's an American patriot?
I think he is.
Yo,
they believe in this country. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but I think he has the right to say it.
Bernie would win in
Dude, base that. Wait, this guy's gonna base it. No.
2016, Bernie would win in 2020, Bernie would win in 24, and Bernie would win in 28.
Do you think he would have beat Trump?
Yes, this is radio voice, right?
In my heart. I don't know if we're there yet. It's really hard. It's the same thing with Kamala. I feel like to vote for somebody that people see as radical as Bernie Sanders is, and I don't know if he would have beat him.
He calls himself a communist.
Well, I don't know about that.
I am a socialist.
Socialist, yeah. And that kind of concerns me too, because
when it comes to socialism, you're just one step away from communism anyways.
I'm a capitalist, I'm a conservative, I'm not a socialist. I don't believe in socialism. Socialism has never worked in this world.
Well, I think social democracy has worked, but full-blown authoritarian socialism has always failed.
Right, but we are a...
Isn't technically Canada kind of socialism?
Constitutional republic. So that cuts against who we are as a nation, who our founding fathers.
Okay, sorry.
Not really.
We are a constitutional republic.
But do you think our founding fathers could have possibly imagined
because it's not
the level of, like,
socialist.
Then Canada's the best.
It's a liberal democracy that has a lot of socialist elements sprinkled in because of culture, mostly.
I don't think they could imagine.
True, actually.
You know, come on. Who can imagine?
But yeah, the liberal democracy, the system is.
Why can't we solve
it's about to fail.
Why? Because
it's about to fail.
We're talking at
it's
each
going
other
to
instead
fail.
of with each other.
Yeah.
Sometime in the future,
Gave you a job.
It
will fail.
I've worked for large companies.
You can already see it struggling. Every day it's getting worse.
You're going to get this lock thing that we have. I think let's listen to solutions and put some solutions together for the American people.
What do you think's the biggest problem facing America right now?
A certain group of people.
The referees, the group of the referees at the NBA that rig this shit, that make bad calls and make the game unwatchable. That's what I say.
To play
that's what I
politics
say.
with our lives, to find the wedge issues that divide us instead of finding all the numerous ways to unite us.
What do you think are some of those wedge issues they've used to divide the common public?
You know, outside we're seeing, oh, abortion is murder and this and that. Another one has to do with race, DEI programs.
Mexicans, Asians, whites. I'm a minority and as a white guy in the Central Valley. And I don't focus on that because, again, you know what? It doesn't matter.
My administration has taken action to abolish all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense.
These are all values that we used to have as Americans that are being twisted and used against us.
That's obscene, and it distorts our ability to engage in civics, you know, in true democracy.
You know, the Democratic Party is just a corporatist party, where the Republican Party is an oligarch party.
Right,
no
you
one
wanted
is
democracy,
for the working
you got
class
democracy,
man or
and
woman.
what happened
Workers getting a share
is
of the
that
profits that they
the
create.
people
It used to be a thing
thought
that we
they
had
knew
in
better,
America. Now it's
and
a
they
person's
voted in
wealthy
dumb
because
shit.
they are smarter than, or they work harder, and we know that the lowest paid people
it's not socialism
are the, more
because
often than not, are the hardest
these,
working people.
Do you think there should be like this class of billionaires that hoard
got
so
into
much wealth
power,
when
and
minimum wage
these
is so low in some
billionaires
states?
and these immigrants, they all put it into power. No, you put it into power.
A good example, what
you
I was
put
just
this
saying
in.
is Elon
Right?
Musk,
It was a
he
liberal
doesn't sleep,
democracy.
you know,
Fundamentally,
12 hours a day
it was
and then
all
just mosey
a
on
liberal
into an office and
democracy,
expect something.
and you had
The dudes in
right,
his
you
factory
could
sleeping
play
on the
anything,
floor
anything you
saying,
wanted.
Yeah, but we don't know
You
that.
wanted this.
Like,
you did
dude,
this,
chat,
and now you get mad over it.
Elon
No,
probably
you
was
put this in,
back then,
right?
an extremely
It's
hard worker,
socialist
probably
because
maybe
you
still
made
is,
it so.
right?
You said so. You voted these people in. You did this, and now you get mad over it. It's all your fault.
In
Right? Come on, man.
recent times.
I'm gonna get them
Go back to the democracy. Well, if we go back to the democracy, you're just gonna do it again. Or what now? You're gonna make it fascist? What the fuck? What are these people even thinking? They have no idea what they have no idea.
I grind a lot myself, okay?
Right? It's socialist because you voted for socialism.
If he was
you put it in. You sprinkled it in there. It wasn't fundamentally socialist. You sprinkled it in there, man. It was all you.
But instead, somebody was playing his account. It is what it is. I'm not gonna debate that. Like the guy was somewhere else, and somebody was playing on his account. You're not a real grinder.
To buy my house and live the American dream. People don't want to do that anymore. Some of the reason is the same reason they're poor. Poor life decisions.
Thousands of people fill the street today for the latest Fighting the Oligarchy tour. Senator Bernie Sanders making stops around the country, talking with crowds about, quote, how to take on the oligarchs and corporate interests.
And it's propelling progressive lawmakers to the front of the line, become the face of what amounts to Democratic Party resistance.
You're on the wrong side, folks. You're on the losing team.
An oligarch's just kind of like a small group of rich people like controlling the government. And that's pretty much what's happening with us now. The president was elected. You have a bunch of billionaires right behind him. It's literally right in the open. You can see it dramatically.
People will look back on this age and go,
that doesn't really mean much of anything, but it's all good.
How did this happen? And the truth is,
right, that's just the default.
A lot of us let this happen because
people that
we believed
lead.
that fascism and authoritarian ideology
have
could
the
never
ability
take
to
root
be
in
in power
America
will be in power. Because the people that don't have this ability fail and get outcompeted by the people that do. There will be oligarchs anyway. We just need to have a culture that makes sure that the oligarchs don't make you into their slave and don't, start committing genocides and pushing people, pushing buttons, pushing people against each other.
I don't think people give them the credit.
That's a cultural issue, not an oligarch issue, because the oligarchs are there by default.
You're a fresh spawn.
In a democracy, they were always there. There wasn't a moment where they weren't there. Back in the day, it was fucking nobles. Now you have oligarchs. They were always there.
Bernie was giving credit. The other guy was piggybacking. Different mindset.
Right. The oligarchs want to rule. They don't give a shit how they're going to do it. The philosophy, whatnot, they don't care.
When do I say we?
They're not scholars. They're not politicians. They are rulers.
Well, I think that he
they don't care.
Like in the immediate aftermath of October 7th, but if you look at him now,
you put it into the democracy, right?
Correct, and I love.
So you get to
that's
vote.
Why I've been also still supporting him.
While Israel had a right to defend itself,
so then the culture is even more important because the people are driven by the culture.
To wage an all-out
so the system, the
the
flavor of the system, you decide that. The socialism, you decide that. You don't pick the people that are in power. You pick the way they're going to rule. And you pick for socialism, bitch. You picked it. That's what democracy does. You don't get to decide who gets power. You get to decide how they're going to be in power and what they're going to do once they're there.
An older white dude, and he actually sticks to what he believes, and that's not very common in politics, so...
And to clarify, this is not exactly a Bernie Sanders rally. It's the Fighting Oligarchy tour. Correct. So he's not planning to run for president during the midterm.
Chat.
Exactly, not at all.
Chat, why can't the United States just have all the basic shit, right? That isn't like too socialism, whatever the people say, like a health insurance and all that, right? Just like the basic shit.
Just out here to be with some like-minded folks who are ready to fight back against the oligarchy.
Starter pack.
Yeah, I'm a leftist. Like politically, I'm queer, so I would prefer to exist still.
What threat do you feel like the Trump administration poses to the queer community?
Outlawing HRT. Like I feel like they say it's just about like the kids on HRT and like stuff like that, but I really do think they're gonna make a push for just banning it outright, even for adults. It's just gonna get messy.
What do you think about Bernie Sanders?
I mean, what's not to think about him? He's on the right side of history, right?
Yeah. What do you think's going on right now in the country?
It's going to shit. Are you kidding me right now?
What are the top 3 terrible things they're doing right now?
Taking people off the street who are here legally, throwing them in the gulag over there in another country, particularly the one fella, I forget his name.
Kilmar Obrega Garcia, Maryland father who was mistakenly deported by the Trump administration.
That's outrageous. Due process is critical for all of us. The other I'd say is the tariffs. what a joke. Like, people are like, oh, Trump's a genius. This is all planned. No, it's not. He thinks he knows more than every economist in the world. He doesn't. Treasury bonds, they're critical to the success and well-being of our country. Those have gone haywire. When that happened, and that's why he responded.
I like when people say, due process this, due process that. If a guy jumps through her fucking window and says, I'm a resident of this domicile, and they say, okay, well, I mean, you haven't proven this guy doesn't live here or whatever. I mean, wouldn't that be fucking annoying?
Dude, you know, it's always the same thing.
Annoying, no?
We're not aren't we not talking about immigrants right now, man? You're gonna go. She was talking about tariffs, right? I mean, he's right,
he
but
realized, oh, my people are telling me that I'm killing
she's retarded.
our economy.
The president here
he doesn't get why
pause
Trump
on tariffs, though it's not clear specifically which countries this pause is going to apply to.
Thinks
so that's a big one.
He's just going to do what's best for the country right now, and
he's cracking down on
be
legal
conservative.
firms.
Trump is not conservative.
What
country are we in? Is this Russia?
Right.
It's crazy.
The reason Trump
Bernie said
got
something that
into
resonated
power
with you.
is
Would you
because
be open to changing
people
your mind about
liked
certain
the way
things?
things were going.
Absolutely.
People wanted a change.
I'm old, but not that old.
And Trump is doing everything to make a change, for better or for worse. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking. But I know at least he's not trying to keep it the same way it was yesterday and the day before. He's trying to make a change.
Okay, I'll actually agree with that. I actually agree with that. Even though
definitely for selfish
the system is pay to win.
But I don't know how that's going to work out, right?
There should be some caps.
But people voted for this.
Just like
The entire reason Trump was voted is because they didn't want Biden, because Biden or Harris
and then we
was
roll
going to do the
the
same
dice
thing
to see if wins.
as Biden
I like
did.
to say when the working
And
class
Biden
is struggling,
is just going to be, you
folks
know,
tend towards
your
either left
typical
populism
lib.
or right populism.
Your typical
and I think that
lip
the
dart
establishment of the
that
Democratic
always
Party
was in
didn't
power
realize
before,
how much the working
right?
class was struggling. They decided to play their games, and you know they fucked around, and then
they don't give a shit about Trump.
Tell us, for those who don't know, about how he was disenfranchised during the 2016 primaries.
Or what he's doing.
One of the main factors is that, you know, he was running
they
as
just
an
hate how it
independent.
is
Can you
now,
talk a little bit about what
and
happened
they don't
in
give a
2016?
shit.
I mean, I was a super
If it's going to get
volunteer
worse,
back then, so I was
so
a
what?
baby
And
organizer.
you make
The
it better
establishment of
after.
the
That's
Democratic
the way
Party
you think.
was
They
really,
just
really
don't
scared
want
of his
the
economic
way it was going.
message.
It's sad.
So they're gonna,
it's being
they want to
rigged
make a
against
change.
Crazy Bernie. Crazy Bernie's going to go crazy.
The Democratic Party is very hard against people that aren't going to be a part of the Democratic Party because they have a lot of funders that are for them.
Secretary Clinton was busy giving speeches to Goldman Sachs for $225,000 a speech. So the proper response, in my view, is we should break them up, and that's what my legislation does.
If Bernie's running as an independent and kind of going against
so what is a super PAC?
Democratic Party to some extent, they're going to like look past him and kind of do as much power to get rid of him, because at the end of the day, the Democratic Party is also not as progressive as you may think they are. I feel like Democrat and the Republican Party are pretty much identical, especially nowadays, where they're passing most of the bills that the Republican Party are even putting forth.
The corporate Democrats and the political right knows that left populists, that we're the enemy, because
people
we
never voted
actually
for
are offering the
Republicans.
thing
They don't
that
give
the
a shit
country
about
wants.
Republicans.
Yo, what's up, people? With the fight against the oligarchy raging on, it's
dollars to me for the primary.
They just dislike the political system, and they want it gone.
Right, back to the streets.
Trump,
Oligarchy, yes or no?
if anything, Trump is the guy who's gonna at least get rid of
well,
the
I just think
the
we should
way
live
it
in a
is
democracy where everyone has an equal voice, and when somebody's worth billions of dollars, it doesn't matter
They didn't
how your
vote for
democracy
Trump.
is set up,
They
they're going to have an undue influence. And
they voted
obviously we need to
against
undo
everyone
Citizens
else.
United. We need to tighten campaign finance laws. It's not like he has billionaire backers that are like in the tech industry.
Yeah.
He's for the people. Even the ads you see, he's like, hey, I'm here, I need some help, please donate.
I am once again asking for your financial support.
What is Citizens United for somebody unfamiliar?
It was allowed essentially unlimited money from corporations going into PACs and other political entities. You as an individual can only donate $3,500 to me for the primary, $3,500 for the general election. But large corporations could donate millions and millions of dollars to PACs that are quote unquote independent, but that shamelessly promote certain candidates and disparage others.
If you would like to become the most powerful person in Washington like Mr. Musk, just contribute $270 million to Trump's campaign.
But we also just need to make sure there are no billionaires. I would love to be worth $80 million. That sounds great. But the discrepancy needs to be throttled. We can't have people that are worth more money than Jesus Christ could have made if he was making $1 million a year since he was born. So I think the marginal tax rate, once you get into the billion, should be 100%. That money should just 100% go.
Okay. This guy's just brain dead. I don't know what this guy is doing with the mic. 100%, brother. What incentive does somebody have to go to work and to do better and to compete and to fucking go out there and achieve more for his company and whatever? If there's a $0 increase, there's nothing you can do. People it's always these guys, always these utopian Andes who can forget about just human nature. People never put human nature in the equation on anything they do or say. It's just right.
Go back to the public to do public good.
There's something interesting that people might not know.
Who have a serious addiction.
Slavery. You know, back in the day, slavery was common. In the classic, the ancient period.
A waiter. He's a waiter at a
slavery
restaurant.
was everywhere.
Right? If he knows he's going to get more tips, he's going to work harder.
Your average guy that wasn't dirt poor had slaves that worked for him.
What people do. It's, okay.
And the people that put out slavery
then I'll do more. Otherwise, there's no incentive.
The monarchs.
It's not going to do better. Do you really think that if there's no
people
tip,
that put out the slavery were
better
the
work
Pope.
every customer? Fuck
right.
no, you're
in
crazy.
America,
Just don't bother. Don't bother.
Just that power. There's
nope.
something about
local American governors wanted
not.
slaves to
power
work
corrupts,
their fields,
power corrupts,
but
absolutely.
the monarch,
you know,
the
I've
British
never been in that
monarchs
position to feel
went
what
against
that. Is,
that.
but it's a thing.
Also,
it's been around for
generally, the Pope went against
that.
that
Dollar amounts because you're still in the point that
and supported, you know, the natives.
It's not amount. It's not proportional.
You know why? Because people that are slaves don't fucking work. They do the bare minimum not to get whipped.
Power.
You know, I think
other than that,
me,
they don't give a shit as long as because there's no incentive for them to work.
Do you think that the desire to dominate others does come from the fear of death?
It could be that they're trying to pass it down to other generations,
if
possibly,
you're a ruler,
like Trump's
you don't
family.
want
Which is
slaves.
the fear of legacy dying. It all comes down to the idea
you want
of
slaves if you're
well
some
I mean,
local
sure.
like some local noble guy,
no doubt.
and you want people to work
he
your
thinks
fields.
He's going to be
Sure.
remembered as one of the best.
You don't want slaves if you're a ruler, because when it's all about numbers, it makes more sense to pay people to work harder than to have them for free, and they're not going to work at all.
But also, I get it. I've lived here a lot of my life, but there's good things here. The food is good. We've got lots of good people besides those Trumpies that are outside right now going crazy. I'm surprised there's not more. I'm a little embarrassed for them, honestly.
As I mentioned, we're still in Bakersfield, California. Don't be surprised, we were just inside. Now we're outside. And I want to establish a new Channel 5 rule. No hating on Bakersfield. If you hate on Bakersfield, you will be blocked. You will be sent to some kind of re-education camp. And we're going to use that Patreon.
Well, Bakersfield is kind of a piece of shit, though, low-key. I mean, high-key, it's a shithole.
We're here at Bakersfield Centennial Plaza, Chevron, fuck BP, fuck Exxon. I don't want to say anything bad about the Dinosaur gas station because I like the merchandise and I want to get a sponsorship from them in time so I can take pictures with the dinosaur wherever I want and maybe get a dinosaur of my own. We got some Trump supporters across the street. They got a banner that says abortion kills children. They're having a vigil for all of the fetuses destroyed by the satanic cabal of George Soros funded Planned Parenthood abortionists.
Like I said, he's not Hitler, but like Hitler,
I
he
can't
also
believe people are
uses
still going on
economic
about this, man.
in order to tie it to the Jews, like with George Soros, when they claim that George Soros is secretly funding everything, like Hitler once claimed.
You know George Soros owns Hot Ones now?
Really?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
He's just another rich person who's like vaguely left-leaning. I don't hate him, but I don't support him. It's sort of like a very neutral relationship, like, yes, thank you for supporting the party, the Democrats and such. You could be doing more.
Yeah. Who do you think is the true enemy?
What?
Oligarchs like Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and every hedge fund manager, every Wall Street stock analyst who only took into account the total financial value that their actions would bring them, and not the wider effect that it would have on Americans.
Best Mexican spot in Bakersfield.
So retarded, man.
It's off of Union Avenue. It's like this small little spot.
If there's anything you need to know, if you're actually worried about the political and economic state of the world right now,
tacos, but it's good.
They're
really good. And the salsa bar is good.
The one takeaway from this video you need to have is
how is it a 7-Eleven on the
the
east side
oligarchs
one time?
are not your enemy. The oligarchs are not your enemy.
That checks out.
If anything, politically,
I'm not surprised.
economically, The oligarchs are your biggest friend.
I found something I'd been
There's a reason oligarchs are in the position they are. And it's not because of nepotism. You don't get to the heights they are now by just nepotism. If they made something out of nothing, but you don't just get here by making $1 million a year
currently drying
for free,
up as a result of
like
a
the
few
guys
factors.
said. Because they have something special that other people don't have.
Thankfully, the gentleman I was interviewing was actually a progressive congressional candidate.
You can capitalize on that by working together with these people, because clearly you have something that's important and valuable. Working together with these people in a way that's mutually beneficial is beneficial for everyone. And then you have a culture that hates these dudes, even though they run everything. And then the dudes, they want to destroy you, and they put them against each other, right? Why, dude? You're supposed to work together with these people. They're gonna rule you regardless. These people will be there regardless of anything that happens or will happen.
On top of it, it's fine. And if they bring
They'll be there. They will rule.
But as the lake dries
you just
up,
need to make
it's
sure
released into the air,
they rule
and
in the
it's
way
going
you
to
want
be.
them
It's
to.
such a huge disaster. It's not just going to affect us here in Bombay Beach. As the Salton Sea dries up,
if you try to push them out and you push them out, you don't like the way they're doing it. They're going to be replaced by the next generation of oligarchs.
People, they're going to be dead. Nobody's going to be
And let me tell you, they're going to be worse.
If it's done responsibly,
and then the next generation is going to be even worse. If you keep pushing them out, you're going to get worse and worse. And then you get dog shit. Right, you get shit. That's how a system falls apart, man. You keep pushing these people out when they were supposed to be there. They were the people running this shit.
Here's a preview
And the entire reason you're here right now is because of them. They were running this shit. And you pushed them out. For what?
Chat, is the rest of this just about the dust or not?
Yeah, I'm Kevin here at Bombay Beach. Desalination uses a lot of energy. There's a reason why.
And TV outlets that project news and information should be nationalized.
I think that there's a delicate balance between wanting to prevent government propaganda and wanting to prevent oligarchic propaganda. And so I think what I'd love to see is more listener-supported media, independent brands that are supported through democratic processes, not necessarily owned by the federal government. I mean, can you imagine what the Trump administration news network would look like right now? It's equally wrong when you have multi-billionaires that are owning, 80% of the media space, and they're able to push out whatever agenda serves their profit interests.
I do believe that there are control issues out there, I think, on both sides. I still think ultimately we, the American people, have to come together and work this thing out. And
yeah, they own 80% push the propaganda, yet somehow everyone hates them because of propaganda.
Like an all-day Fox viewer,
Alright,
all-day
dude,
CNN,
you are
all-day
retarded.
whatever. Like slop, brother, you are like a guy with a big bowl and you be served dog shit and you're just smiling eating that dog shit.
They push propaganda of you hating them.
But I think we need to come together and look for solutions.
Why would they do that? Right, they push propaganda. The propaganda is you hate oligarchs. It's the main takeaway. Everyone thinks this. Oligarchs bad. Oligarchs bad. That's what everyone thinks because of propaganda. Yet the people that push the propaganda are the oligarchs. Huh. Why would you push the propaganda of people hating them then? To get them out? Don't they want to be there, right? They don't want to stay there at the top? Right, it's because they want to push you into you want to push your buttons against each other, right? They're going to put you against each other. So you work for them, right? You're a slave. You're a slave. You're constantly your mind is occupied by stupid shit because you're a retard. You're a retard.